In one corner, a left-hander whose fastball is amongst the swiftest in the game, Cy Young candidate Clayton Kershaw. In the other, a right-hander whose changeup is like a race car slamming on its brakes, Southern Californian Ian Kennedy. One thing separates. One team must win. Because one team is trying to win the Western Division in the National League here in the great state of Arizona at Chase Field, downtown Phoenix, Arizona. All the action today brought to you by our good friends and partners with Sanderson Ford. It's the Diamondbacks and the Dodgers. Interestingly enough, the Diamondbacks trying to avoid a 3-game sweep at the hands of the Los Angeles Dodgers. You can see, watch very closely later on today, Oswalt and Lincecum come here in just a few moments going toe-to-toe. What will happen for the Diamondbacks on a must-win Sunday? Hi there, folks. Welcome back to the ballpark. This is Mark Grace. My name is Darren Sutton. Good to be back with all of you. Now, talking about these Diamondbacks, they have last been swept at home by a team going to the playoffs a year ago, the Cincinnati Reds. They have to avoid it today. If you want to get something going, you send your ace to the mound. That wakes up the defense. Oh, by the way, you want to wake up the hitters? You're facing the Dodgers ace as well.
That's exactly right. And, Darren, in this series against the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Diamondbacks have been a step slow. They have been flat-out outplayed in both of these games, and it looks like really the Dodgers are the team playing like they're in contention. So what you have to do is give it to your spark plug on the mound, the guy that has been there all year long. You see his last 5 starts. He's been brilliant. He's going to need to be today because there's an awfully good one going from the left side against the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Here's the thing about it, Gracie and folks at home, Kershaw, and you're not losing any credibility when you say he deserves now to be in the Cy Young discussion, at least in the top 5.
Well, we've said it all year. He's going to have to clear some room on his mantle for, I think, multiple Cy Youngs. He's only 22 years old, and he has shown that he can beat anybody. He has shown that every time he goes to the mound, something special could happen, something like no hitters. You hope he waits another start before he does that.
If the Diamondbacks are, in fact, in this pennant race in the National League West, they had better play like it this afternoon against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Kershaw ready to go, and Ian Kennedy will go toe-to-toe with him as well. When we come back, Brad Steinke will join us as we take a look back a decade ago. It was a huge offensive day. So many guys pitching in, so many memories. Brad will tackle a blast from the past.
The D-backs wrap it up a stretch that had them playing 15 straight games inside the NL West. They started out very well, but as of late, they've dropped 3 straight today. A chance to close out this series against the Dodgers and salvage 1 win. A great pitching matchup set for tonight. You know, all season long here on Fox Sports Arizona, we've taken a look back 10 years ago to that remarkable run to the World Series championship. We've teamed up with APS to present World Championship moments. April 17th of the D-backs offense was on fire.
The Diamondbacks starting lineup, led by a core group of savvy veterans, created a potent offense that produced runs all season long.
Gonzalez a fly ball to pretty deep center. He's got a 3-homer game, Luis Gonzalez.
And he launches another one. Is it enough? Floyd at the wall. Goodbye.
No better example of Arizona's offensive potential than on April 17th in St. Louis. 17 runs on 18 hits, including 11 extra base hits. The 2001 Diamondbacks played the game like it was their last best chance to win a championship.
Well, when you really need a win, you turn to your ace. Ian Kennedy has done that all season long for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He'll face Clayton Kershaw, pair of pitchers looking for their 14th win of the season. It's D-backs Baseball Live on Fox Sports Arizona in just a bit.
Place lots with your Players Club card in any Gila River casino. You can win $2,000 to $20,000 right away. Right now, get to Jack in the Box, where for a limited time, Jack's really big chicken sandwich, it's back, and it's only $3.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. And by the new Southwest Airlines Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats with no blackout dates. Kirk Gibson not quite sure what he is battling. Flu-like, he told us before the ball game, stomach, all the things that go along with it. Actually, at some point during yesterday's game, once he removed himself from the bench, he actually went home, went to bed, watched the end of the game on television. That's how bad it was for Kirk Gibson. So he said he's still not even close to being 100%. But he had to get his wits about him over the next few days. To quote him, we'll hear an interesting quote in a bit. Let's take a look at the man on the other side, Don Mattingly, whose club's made a strong statement. They don't plan on laying down, and they have officially, by taking this series, played the role of spoiler. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Don Mattingly. Some scrappers at the top with Jamie Carroll and Aaron Miles. Andre Ethier with Matt Kemp driving in 84 runs this year. Juan Rivera, James Loney, Dioner Navarro. Eugenio Velez is hitless in the major leagues so far this year. Clayton Kershaw, pretty good hitter, 13 of 50 with 3 RBIs and only 7 strikeouts this season. We told you he's undefeated. The team is undefeated in his last 5 starts. Our KFC pitchers numbers see Ian Kennedy, a 13-game winner with an ERA of 3.17.
Well, the pressure's certainly on Ian Kennedy to try to stop this 3-game losing streak. I'm going to run a couple of extra numbers at you here, Darren Sutton. Following a loss, Ian Kennedy has started 9 games following a loss. Team record 6-3, ERA 2.1.
That's what you want in the bump. Ian Kennedy gets things started. Following a loss, he's a winner. Following a loss, he cleans things up. We are underway. 1-0 is the count. Gracie and I and Brad, glad to have you with us today. We trust to this point in the weekend it's been a very good one for you. Ian Kennedy, you were talking about his ability to clean things up. That's it right there.
That's exactly right. And his record after a team loss, I'm going to have to beg to differ with that. It's actually 4-2. But it's not because he didn't pitch well.
To the right side.
An ERA of 2.1 when a team loses.
I'm not really worried about what a pitcher's record is at all. I mean, an individual record doesn't matter. That ERA means something to me. And if you have shut down opposing teams and pitched effectively when your team needs it most, record's out of a starting pitcher's hands anyway. 1-2 the count. Carroll right down the middle. He gets things going. That stomp already, not firm yet, but starting to feel it by pounding a fastball in there. Defensively, let's take a look at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Colin Cowgill, Chris Young, Justin Upton. Lexus sponsors it. It's Roberts with Cody Ransom giving Bloomquist today. Johnson and Nady, not Goldschmidt, but Nady at first. And Ian Kennedy pitching to Miguel Montero.
And I'm going to correct myself. That graphic was right. As that one's popped up, that's going to be easy out there for Colin Cowgill. And I'm going to correct myself. Ian Kennedy is actually 4-0, not 4-2 after losses. So I corrected a graphic, and I was extremely wrong.
You stand corrected to stand corrected.
That's exactly
Nothing
right.
wrong with that. Here's Andre Ethier. But again, I know you were kind of looking into it for a moment. What I told the viewers, I really believe. Just pitch well. Any pitch, he's pitched very well. Sometimes the wins and losses are out of your hands.
And also, with a W here, moving him to 14-3. You're going to have to start moving Ian Kennedy into that higher tier of National League pitchers. Or how about Major League pitchers?
You're right. I think certainly moves himself top 8 maybe in the Cy Young discussion with a win, and then
certainly in the top 10.
And then you put him there. Kershaw probably right now on the edge of the top 5 with some of the things he has done. Bottom line, he has been the ace of the Arizona Diamondbacks, a team that is in a pennant race. And that earns you a nod as well. Pitch is low. 1-1 the count to Andre Ethier. 304, 10 home runs, 50 batted in. Ethier with an on-base this year of 375. Not a guy that strikes out a ton, but he'll get over 100 strikeouts this year.
That's
right
that new pitch he's been working on, that cut fastball that he likes to throw to left-handed hitters. And that one made Ethier move.
These are the wins leaders in the National League. Halladay, Hamels, certainly Kennedy and Kershaw, guys that are doing special things in that race for the Cy Young.
Well, what a pitch there to the inside corner. Ethier thought it missed the strike zone, but Ed Hickox behind home plate said, no, that was good enough for me. Looked like a pretty good pitch.
Miggy kind of stumbling caught that ball, too. Really had to reach. So it didn't look as Ethier tracked it into home plate like Montero was smooth in catching it. 2-2. Broke his bat into center field. A changeup. Well, Andre Ethier won that battle, hung around very nicely. The changeup fooled him, but the hands weren't fooled.
And Joe Saunders was a victim of this a lot last night. A lot of balls hit just like that, breaking bats, but falling for base hits. And, you know, that's the Dodgers doing what we preach up here all the time, Darren, and that is when you put the ball in play, you give yourself a chance. When you strike out, you don't.
Ethier, by the way, was 1 for 9 against Ian Kennedy prior to that base hit. He has hit in his last 4 games now. And here is Matt Kemp. 26 long balls, 84 batted in. Laser beam to left field. There's a base hit for Kemp. That is not a blooper. That is not a dying quail. That is a clean base hit there for Kemp.
It didn't take him long to come out and just hit a rocket somewhere. First pitch he sees from Ian Kennedy. Whack. That boy can hit.
Second behind Berkman in home runs. Second behind Howard in RBIs. Ryan Howard, of course, of the Philadelphia Phillies. Lance Berkman of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Ian Kennedy been very good in these situations with runners in scoring position this year. Opponents hitting 139 off Ian Kennedy. That's how you become an ace. Start pitching when it really counts.
Juan Rivera chops it into the Diamondbacks dugout.
And I know there's a bunch of folks at home are saying, yeah, Mark, that's fine and good, but what about when runners are in scoring position with 2 outs? Well, I'm glad you asked, folks. 6 for 56 off Ian Kennedy. That's 107. So thanks for asking, folks.
And Juan Rivera has not had many timely hits as a Dodger either. Put all these numbers together, we'll see what the matchup does. Back of the batter's box, close to the plate. Nowhere near that cut fastball that was right at the belt.
Yeah, that one wasn't well placed, but if it doesn't hurt you, I guess it is well placed. Strike 2.
The last time the Arizona Diamondbacks lost 4 games in a row, which they're trying to avert, was May 8th through the 13th this year. They ended up losing 5 in a row. 1 in San Diego. They were swept in San Francisco. Then 1 in L.A. That was 5 in a row. Then the next day is when they started winning. They started winning May 14th. 0-2 the count. Curveball, wanted to call it, looked up.
And maybe a little out as well. I think that was more wishful thinking on Ian's part than actually thinking he got the strike. That's close.
A premature stomp there from Ian.
All right.
Thought he had the call. Like it that he wanted.
Crazy legs out there. I like it too.
Curveball way out front there. Rivera's just plain old fashioned looking to turn and jerk something.
That's exactly what he likes to do. He is a powerful, powerful young man.
Kershaw looking for some run support when he goes to work. Rivera hitless in 5 tries against Kennedy. He's hot right now in the middle of an 8-game hitting streak. In. Good 2-strike pitch, 2-2 the count. If you run a pitch in like that, you run the risk of making this right now. You have to get him here at 2-2. You don't want to run it to 3-2 with those runners going.
That's exactly right.
So he threw a pitch with purpose. What does he follow up with? On 2-2. Didn't chase, nowhere close.
Overthrew that one a little bit, got underneath it, and it stayed up in the strike zone. Now, like you said, Darren, the runners are going to get a running start here. Ethier and Kemp, both with very good speed. So Ian Kennedy going to have to find a way to, well, do what he's done all year long, and that's get a big out when he needs it.
Just Ian's 4th career start against the Dodgers. Runners go, 3-2. Change up on 3-2. Had him way out front.
That's some big league pitching right there.
Clayton Kershaw, no support for you. Time for him to go to work. Ian pulled the string on the changeup.
to have Gibby back at the ballpark.
And we hope he's feeling better. Didn't seem much today to be totally healed. And
He was in a foul mood this morning.
I think the team hurt his stomach, and whatever's bothering him has hurt his stomach as well. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Ryan Roberts, Kelly Johnson, Justin Upton. Nady gets a chance today, trying to get him going. Goldschmidt watches from the bench. Chris Young is in center field. Montero catches. Colin Cowgill kind of trumps Goldschmidt, if you think about it, in the decision today, because Nady can play left field. It's Cody Ransom, and then it's Ian Kennedy. Clayton Kershaw, 23 years old, 13 wins. He's won his last 5. Again, 23 years old.
Yeah, he is a dandy.
Fastball rises high, up and out of there to Roberts. 1-0 the count to Ryan. Ryan 2 of 5 with 3 walks in this series. So he's finding ways to continue to reach. He had the same run on the road trip. Patiently waiting, 2-0 the count. And that's the goal, isn't it? To get on.
Oh, well, especially now that you're in the leadoff spot. And last night in the 9th inning, he was the guy that got on base to bring the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. Ball 3. All 3 pitches have missed high.
So Roberts patiently working himself through this one. You know, in his last 16 times against the southpaw, he's got 7 hits and 2 walks. So an on base of about 500 when he has seen these lefties.
Well, that was easy, wasn't it?
Patiently working himself on. Ryan Roberts with the walk. He worked his way on last night and then under the skin of his manager, though, later in that same inning.
With a near base running gaff.
And Kirk Gibson loves his team's effort. You'll hear at some point in this inning or the next when we share one of Gibson's thoughts. He doesn't want guys to back off in the effort, but he wants them to wise up a little bit. The base pads have been really unfriendly to the Diamondbacks this year especially, but of late more than anything. Here's Kelly Johnson. And this is one of the ways of measuring it. You want to be, what, 75% successful?
Yes.
So well below where you need to be.
Yeah, pretty soon it becomes a hindrance. Now all of a sudden you're really helping the opponents. We get a break in the action. Let's take a listen.
1-0 the count. Willie Bloomquist is one of the guys. Aggressive, certainly. And Gibson wants him to continue. One of 6 in this series for Kelly Johnson. Third inning single last night, snapping an 0 for 13, but then Kelly was picked off as he takes high. Kershaw has yet to throw a strike. So Kelly will pick his poison here. On 2-0. 3-0 the count. Three and 0 to Johnson. Justin waits on deck.
There it is. Strike 1.
What a difference a year makes for Kelly. The one thing you can say is the same is the production. I mean, the batting average is much lower, but not a dramatic difference in RBIs, and same home run total for Kelly Johnson. Just that batting average 70 points lower. The 3-1. Back to the screen it goes. 3-2 the count. Roberts does have 14 stolen bases, but he's been caught 7 times. What do you do here? The count is full. A lot of room in right center field. And he looks him back with a throw to the bag. Just about the C move, I would think, there. Kershaw's done well enough. 10 stolen bases against and 4 thrown out. In and out, a break for the Diamondbacks of that catcher's mitt. One of the hardest left-handed pitchers of starters, especially in the game, is Kershaw.
Oh, no question. He's got the great breaking ball as well as that powerful fastball. Kelly just able to hang around long enough. Maybe he can get ball 4 here or get a mistake and drive it somewhere.
3-2 the count. High drive, deep right field. Kelly going swimming. Out of here. Kelly opting to get things going on a Fulton Holmes homer. With Juan Gutierrez on the disabled list, but he's using his bat.
That's almost sacrilegious, but when you're hitting this far, off a Cy Young contender, man, long home run from Kelly Johnson. How about staying alive the pitch before, just able to nick it in and out of the glove of DNR Navarro. The pitch before, well, it did lead to the mistake, something he could drive way out of here.
You talk about the production. That's 18 home runs. That's 48 runs batted in. There's that bat. They were showing it to us. Swing and a miss. Thank you very much. 1-1 the count.
I'm going to have to ask Kelly about that tomorrow. What are you doing using a pitcher's bat? I always thought that made you hit like a pitcher. That's okay if you're Daniel Hudson.
And by the way, he hit that home run lefty on lefty as Justin takes inside.
A couple of nights ago, Darren, Kelly Johnson was pinch hit for.
Bullshit.
Oh, there's those field mics.
2-1 the count. Glad they're working.
But a couple of nights ago, Kelly Johnson was pinch hit for in the 9th inning off Scott Elbert, a left-handed pitcher. So I would imagine that's the way, as that one's lined to first base. I would imagine that's a way to endear your manager, like, hey, I can hit off left-handers. We know Kelly Johnson's had some success with the bases loaded this year, but he was pinch hit for a couple of nights ago. Cody Ransom pinch hit for him and ended up striking out.
I think I'd be a little insulted by that too. I wasn't here. I'm hearing you tell me the story, reliving it through your words. I'd really be insulted by that if I was Kelly Johnson. But that's how you respond. Like you said, you don't put your tail between your legs and mope in your locker. You showed the manager why.
I asked him the next day. I was like, were you ticked off when you got called back? And like any professional tell you, he's like, oh, yeah.
1-1 the count. And you talk about Kershaw. How good is he? Lefties hit 168 against him. That's just the 3rd home run that he has given up to a left-handed hitter this season in more than 120 at-bats. 1-2 the count on Nady. Fastball runs it in. Senator McCain and his wife is here. And so he is supporting his local team that he represents on a national level. He hopes that his local team can represent on a national level in October. That pitch is high. A slider there, just left it up, babied it in there.
That's not really one of his main weapons, a slider, but he's got lots of weapons.
Bouncing ball over to make the play at the belt on a high hop. Miles shoots it on across. Let's take a look at the Dodgers defensively. Rivera, Kemp, Ethier, that's the outfield. Miles, Carroll, Eugenio Velez, and Loney on the infield. Navarro. Velez had a huge year hitting in AAA. The super utility man, one-time San Francisco Giants, has earned the right. Well over 300 in AAA, so he gets to start today. He's hitless this year in the big leagues. Here's Chris Young. He takes a strike over the outside. So 2 runs in on the inning. There was a walk in the inning coming into today. Clayton Kershaw in 23 first innings had given up just 3 runs.
Man.
He was.
What a confidence boost this has got to be for what had been, for 3 straight games, a real sluggish Arizona Diamondback ball club.
Pitch is low, 2-1 the count. Well, either you're in the race and you're playing like it, or you're not.
Well, they're in the race, but the last 3 games they haven't been playing like it.
That's exactly right. That pitch is low, 3-1 the count. Now, their manager, now I know he's under the weather this morning, and we'll revisit this a couple of times today because I think it applies with the way he has treated these guys. None too pleased with the last 2 days at all. The 3-1. Popped up.
See, that's a pitch right there. A month ago, Chris Young would have hammered that pitch. A 3-1 fastball right in the middle of the plate. It's just been a struggle for Chris the last 3 weeks.
He's hitting just 147 since the All-Star break.
And when he's squaring them up, they just don't have that extra carry. Ball 4 is always a good thing when you're struggling.
Well, the other part of the Kershaw story is he had only walked 5 all season long in the first inning, prior to now walking 2 in this first inning. Another lefty, Miguel Montero. Now, as we mentioned earlier, one of these pitchers, statistically anyways, due to have at least an average afternoon, they have both been rolling. Neither one of them, if you combine their last 10 starts, neither one of them has lost in their last 10. Well, something's got to give today.
Something's got to give. Miguel Montero, he's kind of been feeling the crunch of late. He's getting a lot of pitches to hit and not doing anything with him. He was starting to show some signs of frustration last night, Darren. Starting to hang his head a little bit, get his dauber down. Almost went to crack the bat over his knee. Let's see if he can quiet his body down and just use his hands. He's been using an awful lot of body, and that slows your bat down.
Now, why would a hitter do that?
Because over the course of a season, you get sluggish. You start to fatigue. I mean, this guy's catching nearly every single day, and here we are in the dog days of August. You know, your body's starting to tire, especially a catcher's body. And I think a lot of times you feel like you need to, instead of just trusting your hands, like he's got great hands, we know that, and using the big part of the field like he does, left, center, and center field, he feels like, well, I'm not as quick because I'm a little sluggish right now, so I need to start cheating a little bit, and the body starts coming forward.
1-2 the count. So you look like you're on Dancing with the Stars, basically, just all over the place.
So that's not bad right there.
A little quieter?
Yeah, that was a lot quieter. That just happened to be a 95-mile-an-hour fastball from Clayton Kershaw that got past him. But Don Baylor had noticed that Miguel Montero was talking about, I need a lighter bat because my hands are slow right now. And Don Baylor was saying, no, you don't need a lighter bat. Your hands are just fine. It's your body that's too much in motion.
Young on with a walk. He is at first. That one's over the outside corner. That's strike 3.
That's just a perfect pitch.
Kelly Johnson, lefty on lefty. Just the 4th allowed this year by Kershaw. And he did it with an injured relief pitcher's bat. text poll presented by your Valley Kia retailers. Text to vote. You consent to receive a message from Kia Motors. How many wins will Ian Kennedy finish with this year? If you value things like wins. 36929, 17 or less, 18, 19, 20 or more. Over the outside, 0-1 the count.
How many more starts does he have left?
Well, rough math, he's got what? This is his 24th today? Is this correct?
So about 9 maybe? 8 or 9?
After today, yes. I would think 8 or 9 after today.
20
about 33.
20 plus would be a lot to ask.
Yeah, he'd have to win
honestly,
7 of his next 10 starts.
A lot. Most of those numbers is a lot to ask with that many starts left.
The 1-1. And the thing that you have to remember is what we spoke of before, the count 2-1 now to James Loney. He may pitch great. He may be the reason the Diamondbacks win the West. But in that time, he may go 3-3.
That's exactly right.
No decisions. They may be late wins. You just never know. That one is outside. 3-1 the count. So something to think about. See if you can forecast ahead. Pitching coach Charles Nagy has been a guy that has seen things a lot like Kennedy sees it. And I think Kennedy vice versa. On 3-1, 3-2 the count. Ian beat the Giants last time out in San Francisco. It was a 5-2 win. A lot of fastballs in that game. Between cut fastballs and fastballs, 277 total. And we can, up here in the booth, rave about his changeup, and it's a good pitch.
He's a fastball pitcher, though, isn't he?
He really is. And he leads it 2-0. Fastball after fastball. Now, how can a pitcher that's 89-91, how can he be a fastball pitcher?
Well, I think he's got the reputation of having such a great changeup. Major league hitters, just like hitters anywhere, they don't want to be embarrassed. They don't want to. And when you've got a really good changeup, you can embarrass hitters with it. I think it's just always in the back of these hitters' minds. He won the battle with another fastball.
Because I think, as racing in is Calgill, tell me if I'm wrong here. One out in the inning. Don't you think the last maybe 3 or 4 Loney was thinking changeup?
He's got it. Well, and also James Loney saw right in front of him to end the last inning. He saw Juan Rivera strike out on a 3-2 changeup. Well, he saw 3 3-2 pitches in that at bat. All were fastballs right there to hit, but yet he was tardy on all of them because he watched his buddy in front of him get embarrassed on a 3-2 changeup. Hitters have egos.
Over the inside, 0-1 the count, Deoner Navarro. Breaking ball, ground ball. As that one rolls foul, I think we got a pretty good Nissan key to the game.
This was mine today.
Well, please. I'll read it. You explain it. 10, Jack, Queen, King. All right.
Okay. Well, what do you need to fill out that straight? And don't say a 9.
Well, you need an ace.
There you go. What do the Diamondbacks need to break this 3-game losing streak?
Now they need an ace.
Well, there's your guy right there. They need Ian Kennedy, their ace, to step up. So far, so good.
Play is made in left field. So far, very good. He had a bump in the road in the first inning. Ethier didn't hit it hard. Kemp did. They were both cleaned up on that 3-2 changeup that he threw to Juan Rivera. Eugenio Velez.
I knew you'd like that key to the game.
I like that key to the game a lot. And I appreciate you really taking it to the next level this morning as we planned it out. Velez in the minor leagues this year in AAA in 55 games had 74 hits, hit 339. In his time in the big leagues, he's played more than 200 games. A little bit below a league average hitter, about a 249. There you go, hitter. Was versatile for the San Francisco Giants for several years.
Yeah.
Yes, you don't want him on the pads. Breaks his bat. Over to make the play is Ransom. Fires it on in time for the out. Mr. Velez, 0 for 17. Thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy. An ace. We are very proud to wear pins during our 2011 MLB on Fox Sports Arizona season to support Stand Up to Cancer and their work to fund groundbreaking research that helps accelerate treatment to patients. For more information, please visit standuptocancer.org/Fox Sports. Colin Cowgill, part of kind of a three-headed moving rotation between first and the outfield, if you stop and think about it. And especially against the left-handed pitcher, Kirk Gibson has to make the decision. Is it Goldschmidt? Is it Nady? Is it Cowgill? I can play two of the three. Goldschmidt obviously has to be in the outfield, or I should say in the infield, while Cowgill has to be in the outfield. But Nady can play both.
Yeah, and Goldschmidt, in his 5 games in the major leagues, he has faced 5 tough pitchers. And now, maybe the toughest of all of them yet, Clayton Kershaw. So go ahead and let him have a ball game off, sit and watch, and recharge his batteries for the Houston Astros.
Goldschmidt was talking about the first couple of games in his new home ballpark. He said he sees the ball very well. Swing and a miss. Good evening, Mr. Cowgill, as he goes down on a tough slider. He said that batter's eye, they don't have batter's eyes like that in Double-A.
Not at all. Yeah, Mobile doesn't quite have the same batter's eye as Chase Field. Clayton Kershaw threw 31 pitches in the first inning, folks. Well, that was a 3-pitch strikeout to Colin Cowgill, but Diamondbacks did a really good job of making him throw pitches, taking the balls, swinging at the strikes. Hard hitting Kelly Johnson went way back.
0-1 the count on Cody.
Not taking any time. He whacks that one, but he was out in front.
Anytime the Diamondbacks score 6 runs or more, Taco Bell gives away 3 free tacos with a large drink purchase. And they do so between 4 and 6 the following day. Chase Utley has driven in a run. They have worked through 2.5 innings in San Francisco. The Philadelphia Phillies lead the San Francisco Giants 1-0. Bottom of the 3rd inning now in San Francisco. 1-2 the count. Ransom. And there's your update. It's been a weekend where it could have been a moving weekend for Arizona. They have not been able to pack their boxes at all. The Giants losing the first 2 games to Philadelphia. Today's matchup is Tim Lincecum, and check that, by the way, 3 because it's a 4-game series. 2-2 the count. But an interesting matchup today, I think. Oswalt trying to find his health again against Lincecum. A couple of diminutive. One used to be an ace and one still is.
You expect low-scoring games in Philadelphia, San Francisco. And it so far is. And the good guys are in front. Fouled back. 3-2.
5 3-ball counts already. A lot of kids going back to school tomorrow. For some youngsters, tomorrow it's back on the bus, back in the carpool, back on the bike, heading over to school. 3-2. For not all, though. By the way, you've got to take advantage in that Houston series. Come down, bring a grown-up with you. If that grown-up buys a ticket, you and your buddies come on in.
Watch a ball game for free.
15 and under, you come with an adult, you come for free.
You may be watching a first-place ball club.
And even if you're in school, there's no homework in the first few days. Get on down here.
Yeah, Mom and Dad won't mind.
Bring your notebook to the yard. Bouncing ball, ranging off the glove. Can he recover? Well, nothing at all pretty, and I mean nothing pretty about that play, but in the end it was an out. Miles kicked it, he recovered, then he went ahead and threw it in the dirt, but an out is an out.
Well, you get it there, now panic sets in. Whoop, now I got it. And, in the dirt, but James Loney, always a good defender over there. Takes care of his third baseman.
Here's Ian Kennedy, 3 of 42 this year. That's an 071 clip. He struck out 14 of the 42 times as he takes low, 1-0 the count. Kershaw last time out beat the San Diego Padres. 1-1. And he went the distance in a 5, make it 6-2 win. And it was almost all exclusively fastballs and sliders. That's really all he needed.
And I think one more fastball in the middle of the plate is going to take care of Ian Kennedy. He's a little bit tardy with those swings.
There's that start there of the 108 pitches. 103 of them were fastballs or sliders. As you said.
Yeah, that's all it took. He can be awesome. And he was right there.
Diamondbacks reward program and earn points by buying participating items at Fry's Kia Motors. To learn more, visit phxkia.com. Last year we celebrated a birthday 101 years young. Boy, we celebrated again, and good to have him back celebrating again his birthday, 102 years.
That's Mr. Goldstein, isn't it?
And we celebrate him. Congratulations, sir. We're glad to have you back. We're pleased to have you back.
No, he looks like he's ready to go down there and steal bases right now, doesn't he?
That's great.
God love him.
Well, if ever there's something worth celebrating, it's life. And so we celebrate 102 years of life here at the ball game.
What do you want for your 102nd birthday, Darren?
I want a calendar that shows me that I'll maybe make it to 103. Just a calendar that shows me that I got a shot. Health, family around me, that's all I can think of.
How about a ball game?
And going to a ball game. Bouncing ball. Kershaw's got a lot of hits on that resume. Nice play, though. Cody Ransom going into the hole with a bit of a leap, unloaded it, so Clayton Kershaw is erased.
Really terrific play there, showing some athleticism. Ransom, all his momentum going the other way, gets plenty on it, and he gets Kershaw by a step. Well, the more you watch that play, the more you realize that was terrific.
Here's Jamie Carroll. Carroll struck out looking back in the first inning. 2 hits for the Dodgers, 1 for the Diamondbacks. And that one is a little bit low. 1-0 the count to Carroll. Ian making his 68th Major League start. Began as a starter in 07 with the New York Yankees. As that one is high. 2-0 the count. Pitched very effectively in his first tiny amount of opportunities to finish the 07 season. Struggled in 08. And the aneurysm in his shoulder in 09. And they kind of hit the reset button on a trade that sent him here to Arizona. And he's been pitching very effectively ever since. The 2-1. Into the seats it goes.
Fastball's got that extra hop today, doesn't it, Darren?
It does.
He's getting a lot of tardy swings, late swings. A lot of balls shanked the opposite field.
Ian will tell you one of the reasons is he learned a lot about overthrowing in bullpens between starts late in the season. He does less between with regard to throwing. Now, as that changeup is pulled, he will do more physical exercising and do a little bit more working out and such, but getting on that bump out in the bullpen, he dials that back a little bit.
That arm's only got so many bullets in a season.
Lost him on a walk. So from one utility infielder to another, Cody Ransom's out there. He just made a nice play a moment ago. There's a reason he's out there today, isn't there, Brad?
Yeah, without a doubt. Kirk Gibson earlier today saying that, this team is starting to truly feel the effects of losing Stephen Drew. Guys who played a little bit out of position. He had to give Willie Bloomquist the day off. He says, I can't keep pounding him, bless his heart. You never thought you'd hear Kirk Gibson say that. But, what was interesting was just the fact that, a couple of new pitchers, and he says that they haven't really positioned themselves very well yet with those guys. There was a base hit off Ziegler last night because they didn't really, know where to position. So he says that this team needs to kind of get back in focus, and Cody Ransom, most of his career has played shortstop, so that's his true position. But I think it was interesting just to hear Kirk Gibson say that they've kind of got to refocus and find out where they need to position guys with some of the new situations they're going to face in the next little while.
2-0 is the score. Good stuff, Brad, and there's no denying that has to happen. The other reality of it is this is an overachieving baseball team, and if you're going to continue to overachieve, can't really misstep at all. At all.
No.
You're out-talented on a lot of nights by the opposing team.
A lot of times.
But this is a team that, just based on the numbers, should even be 4 or 5 games lesser than they are.
Another tardy swing on a fastball. 0-2.
Oh, 2 the count. Oh, 2. Outfield shallow. Young in for the light hitter. Got to hurry for 2. They got it. You knew you'd get a hard slide from Carroll and a hustling Aaron Miles, but in the end, the double play is turned. Ransom in the middle of it.
that we have to do a better job of understanding this. Like when Rhino went last night, it was not a smart play. Why he wasn't out, I'm not sure. But you got to stop doing that. So those are the type of things that we need to tighten up. So get my wits back about myself. We'll address some of the things like that in all aspects of our game.
Kirk Gibson before today's ball game as Roberts is erased with a fly out to center field. Talking about feeling better physically, and when he gets, as he said, his wits about him. There's some things he hasn't liked, and specifically Gracie and folks at home, he focused on the base running.
Well, the base running has been, well, and it was that way in San Francisco. Even though the Diamondbacks won a couple of games up in San Francisco, there was still a lot of caught stealing, some pickoffs. And if you're going to be a championship ball club, you're going to have to tighten those things up. You cannot just give the other team free outs. You got to make them earn those outs.
Oh, and on the count, Kelly Johnson. Johnson homered back in the first inning. A 2-run shot. Pops that one up. Giving it a look is Miles, still heading over there, and he runs out of room. By the way, hearing from Kirk Gibson a moment ago, that was our Geico quote. There's that bat.
He smoked it. Haven't seen much of Big Goot lately, but, well, his bat's making some noise.
It was a lot less of Big Goot if you happen to see him.
Yeah, he's kind of skinny Goot now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's not Big Goot anymore. Goot, muy flaco.
I love it when you go bilingual on me, Darren, but yeah, he has lost a lot of weight.
Bad Americanized Spanish, you mean? The 0-2. That one is outside. 1-2 the count. Gutierrez trying to work his way back off the disabled list. Arm problems. Well,
survival right there.
I was about to say, he fouled a pitch off to hang around before. That one, he did it again.
That's exactly right. He got a mistake his last time in survival mode. You don't get many mistakes in a Clayton Kershaw game. Kelly Johnson did a great job of hurting that mistake. Oh, that is just nasty. Goodness.
Slider. He fouled off one really good one away. He threw him a better one the next pitch. They talk a lot about the slider, Gracie. That was it there. When he was a younger pitcher, he threw more curveballs. Thought it was important to be bigger and have more break. He's learned that's not as important for him anyway.
Yeah, I like his curveball a lot, but you see probably in single digits now curveballs from Clayton Kershaw. Not a weapon he depends on all that much anymore. Just kind of a showcase once in a while.
He's just, there you have it. He's just a hard ball pitcher. I mean, the bottom line is 5 out of 100 would be curves, 5 out of 100 would be changeups. There it is. As we mentioned, a rare changeup to the likes of Upton. That's probably the special hitters get changeups.
He's thrown 2 changeups now to Justin. They both led to call 2 strikes. There's another one.
You can see the grip. He had that circle change grip in his glove. 1-2 the count. If you're Upton, you're geared up for the fastball. You're ready for 95. You've gotten 2 soft ones in a row. There's the fastball outside. 96.
Yeah, I think that's just a showcase fastball away. He's going to try to get him out with something off speed here.
Over the top. That was a slider. Upton goes down on strikes as predicted. 7 in a row sat down since the walk to Chris Young back in the first inning. back of the ball yard. Andre Ethier to lead it off. AT&T trivia question. When was the last time the Diamondbacks scored 17 runs in a game? That is your trivia question. We'll have the answer for you in the next half. Kemp waits on deck. Ethier leads it off.
Big inning here for Ian Kennedy, going through the teeth of this Dodger order. These guys have been thorns in the Diamondbacks side. Ethier, Kemp. Fortunately for the Diamondbacks, Rod Barajas not in the lineup this afternoon.
I'm coming back into town. What happened with him? He was big, huh?
He drove in a lot of runs. He hit homers and gaffers.
I think he just loves coming back to this ballpark.
Just a lot of big hits.
Andre Ethier drives it into right center field. Kind of knuckling on Young, so he had to play it delicately, but he put it away.
Relive the magic of 2001 during World Championship Reunion Weekend, September 9th through the 11th, presented by Gila River Casinos. Join us on Sunday, September 11th, as we recognize our everyday heroes, and the first 15,000 fans will take home a patriotic Stars and Stripes t-shirt. Call 602-462-4790 or visit dbacks.com/reunion.
Matt Kemp with one out. Tries to drop down a bunt. Boy, you do send a thank you note to a slugger that does that. And it wasn't a good bunt either.
I'm sure Don Manning would probably trot on over to Matt Kemp and say, probably not even say drive it in the gap. You've got 26 home runs. Thank you.
And his first base coach, a man who's still shaking his head. He's been shaking his head for 30 seconds. Davey Lopes over there.
Now, Davey Lopes, he's a guy that could hit you about 15 a year, wouldn't he?
Oh, you bet.
In the leadoff spot. A great base stealer, but he had some power, too. And when a guy that was a speed guy like Davey Lopes, a leadoff guy, is like, no, don't be bunting. That's probably not the right thing to do if you're Matt Kemp.
Great job capturing that. I was hoping we'd see it. Lopes just wouldn't stop doing it. Long throw, Ransom. What a play by Cody, the pride of Grand Canyon, ending a 5-pitch inning. Very comfortable indoors, well into triple digits outdoors. Wherever you're enjoying us, thanks for inviting us into your home. Mark Grace, Darren Sutton, Brad Stanky, and you. Diamondbacks lead it 2-0. Nady into the catcher's mitt goes. 0-1 the count on Nady. Quick update in San Francisco. Sorry about that, Gracie. 1-0, still the score. Philadelphia on top in the fourth.
Clayton Kershaw is starting to fire on all cylinders here in the middle innings.
Nady earlier this year with a long ball against Clayton Kershaw. And maybe you never know with Kirk Gibson. One of the reasons he's in there today. Back to the screen it goes. Had a pretty good cut that time. Had a pretty good cut this time as well. Dealt with the slider there, didn't he?
Slider that stayed up, and Xavier Nady just killed it to center field here.
This time it's a fastball in. We'll do it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Kershaw, away from Dodger Stadium, has a 3.6 ERA. At home, it's below 2. Giants tie it up with Philadelphia. 1-1 the score, 4th inning. And they're looking to score more. They've got the bases loaded. Breaking ball. This time he had him way out front. A trio of Dodgers come together. Matt Kemp had to be playing pretty deep. He makes the play. AT&T trivia question. Let's answer it for you.
My answer is I don't know.
The last time the Diamondbacks scored 17 runs in a game? Well, of course, September of 2002 against the Colorado Rockies.
I was on that team. Yeah, I remember that ball game. Man, I had a lot of hits that game. I have no idea.
Well, good for you, though. I mean, I'm glad it was a good day and a good memory. Here's Chris Young. 0-1 the count as he takes over the inside corner.
That was probably a game I sat.
0-1 to Young. Breaking ball frozen. And again, the slider, it's about 84, 83 miles an hour. Should he ever break a curveball out, it's about 10 miles an hour slower than the slider. Same break to it, just slower. That's a slider, and he takes.
That was a good slider, too.
1-2 the count. The Dodgers have 15 wins in Clayton Kershaw's 23 starts. That's on a losing team. Well, something to be said for that, huh?
You got that right.
When your team, as a whole, your Los Angeles Dodgers are 8 below 500, yet when you pitch, they're 7 above. Breaking ball into left field. He was ready for that slider. Got a lot of the plate. And any hit is a good hit for Young. And I think it's no accident that he started things with a walk in the first inning.
Sometimes that's the best thing that can happen. And he ended up laying off a couple of good pitches to get to 2-2. Then he takes a slider, and this time he rifles it into left field. That's more like the Chris Young sound of his bat.
Young with 16 stolen bases, but again, drifting into that kind of dangerous territory of the times he's been caught. He's been caught 8 times. So the aggression, Kirk Gibson doesn't want it to stop. He's got to become wiser with your decisions.
Oh, and also, Chris Young could have been another casualty of the base paths a couple of nights ago. He left very early, and Mike McDougal, the reliever for the Los Angeles Dodgers, just stepped off and had him dead to rights, and all he had to do was throw it to second base. But he threw it to Matt Kemp in center field instead, or that would have been another casualty.
Gracie telling us before, folks, 75% and above is where you need to be.
At least. Because then it becomes counterproductive.
1-1 the count. 2-0 is the score. Montero wants a new set of signs from Matt Williams. One and one. Huge swing. He fouls it off.
See all that body there? That's a pitch that Miguel Montero usually hammers into left center field. But he's just tardy because he's over swinging, using too much of his body. See how much the head comes forward on that one? Just too much body in that swing right now. Not enough hands.
Montero made it a goal. He talked about it a lot in spring training. I want to try to play as close to every day as I can. You put that goal out there, and it's certainly a fantasy, and then the fantasy becomes reality in August.
And that it's difficult.
Swing and a miss. Got him with the fastball in.
And he's starting to get frustrated with himself. The walk back to the dugout is starting to get a little slower. You can just see he's starting to get very frustrated with the offensive side of the game.
Hey, don't forget, by the way, today's broadcast is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting the United States Armed Forces serving in 175 countries and aboard ships at sea. They're watching in Iraq, in Germany, Italy, Southwest Asia. There's a war hero watching in the ballpark. South Korea and Japan, welcome. And thank you, all you servicemen and women, for your service, your sacrifice. We are really grateful. Enjoy the ball game today.
Exactly. We're proud to bring it to you. Colin Cowgill, a strikeout victim on 3 pitches his last time up.
That pitch sails high. Cowgill, he began things 0 for his first 11. That's what his big league start was like, with 5 strikeouts. Since then, he is 4 of 10. So at least starting to find his way through things, and he essentially was chosen over Paul Goldschmidt today to start, in the fact that Nady can play both first and left. 2-0 the count.
Nice job of taking there. Now you're 2-0. Now you turn Clayton Kershaw into a fastball pitcher. Go ahead and try to cheat on one, maybe line it down the left field line for extra bases.
Two Houston Prep High School baseball stars in the Houston area, and they played together with one another. Traveling teams, they played against one another on weekdays when it was high school baseball time, so they know each other very well. That one is high. 3-0 the count. Loney was a heck of a pitcher in high school as well. So if you want to get both of them going, go back and forth clubhouse to clubhouse and start saying that he said, you said about he said. It's kind of fun. 3-0. 3-1 the count to Cowgill. Right of the Southeastern Conference, University of Kentucky is where he played. Same school that produced one Mr. Brandon Webb.
That's exactly right. Tardy on that fastball.
That's a good effort out there.
It was a hustling effort out there. Who is that?
Now stand by. I'm looking. Oh, that's Mike Galloway over there.
Oh, Mike's a veteran out there. We've had him out there many. And then there's the Blue Man Group. Good to see them here. That's a great show. Not very big league.
Solid walk. He earns himself a walk. Our Jazz Roberts Cool plays Ransom defensively.
A couple of times now he's gone into the hole, thrown it across the diamond. And then there, with the dive in front of him, he still makes a great play in the last inning. So a couple of beautiful plays behind Ian Kennedy. Now Cody Ransom will get an opportunity to maybe extend the lead here.
Cody is grounded out in his first shot at things. Average below 200. And his slider at the chest stays high. 1-0 the count to Ransom. Cody drove in a bunch of runs in AAA, but then again, I think a lot of hitters did.
Willie Mopena did.
The high altitude in Reno. Had Calgill with 70 RBIs, Ransom with 89 before he was called up. Pickoff throw, and back is Calgill. Because from this day forward, there will be no problems. Nobody gets picked off by the Diamondbacks. From this day forward. This morning it was not the Pepto-Bismol talking when he said that. That was the manager talking.
That was the anger.
2-0 the count.
All of a sudden now Clayton Kershaw is starting to dig himself a little bit of a hole with wildness. Gas right by Cody Ransom. That might have been ball 3. Matter of fact, I think it was ball 3.
Ransom was a Giant. He's been an Astro, a Yankee, and a Philly. 225 games in the major leagues, nearly 1,500 in the minor leagues. 35. That one is inside. 3-1 the count.
Kershaw wanted it, but it was a little bit too far inside, according to Ed Hickox.
And again, if you're Ransom, you have tough decisions to make with the pitcher on deck. But open up your zone a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That was ball 4 again.
But maybe not that much as far as opening up your zone. Still 1-1 in San Francisco. Phillies and Giants in the 5th inning. 1-1 is the score. Phillies got out of a jam in which the bases were loaded by the San Francisco Giants. Just allowed the 1 in that inning. Runners go. Did he go? Yes, he did.
Tried to pitch around him, but Cody was just too over aggressive and struck out.
In home games, it's brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Look at one thing on that chart, folks. Look to the far right. Look at the pitches thrown. And that's very good news for Arizona.
You got that right.
Obviously, the run scored is very good news for Arizona as well. Kennedy has been, if anything, efficient in being very aggressive. He's thrown changeups when he's needed to and cutters when he's wanted to. But it's still been a lot of fastballs, and he leads it 2-0.
Another tardy swing on a fastball. That was pretty much the middle of the plate right there, and James Loney been tardy on about every fastball for me and Kennedy here this afternoon.
And unfortunately for Loney, Major League announcers have been saying that for the last couple of years about him.
A guy that was a run producer for, well, at least 3 years. Beautiful changeup prior to this year. Well, in the 80s, even 90s in his RBI totals. Am I right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And if anything, was a guy that you thought would hit between 15 and 20 homers. No more than that.
Right. There's one.
He drives that one, maybe, just maybe, listing, because that's a no-doubter. Both balls have ended up in the pool area. Both home runs in this ball game. The second one, the one hit by the Dodgers, ended up in the water. 2-1 is the score. Loney finds a way to knock one out of here, just his 5th of the year.
And Ian Kennedy threw a changeup in that situation after getting nothing but tardy swings. He throws the changeup, something that James Loney can catch up with, and he catches up with that one, boy.
And he's been looking for it all day.
Yeah.
Well, that right there, a long ball and a pretty swing like that is what keeps the Dodgers coming back.
Yeah. There's a lot to like about that. All right. He is a terrific defensive first baseman. He just needs to drive the ball a little more. And I'm not talking about home runs. The doubles are way down as well, Darren. The extra base hits, just not much to him. And then on top of it, you're hovering around 245, 250.
Fastball inside corner. Kennedy with a bit of an angry stomp there after retiring Navarro. Boy, he really took Navarro to school.
Yeah, I think Ian realizes he did James Loney a favor throwing him that changeup in the middle of the zone. That's what he might have been thinking he should have done, just right to the inside corner with a fastball and take care of business.
One more thought on Loney to back up what you're saying. It's not that it's homers, it could be doubles. In 2007, he slugged .538. This year, he's slugging .318.
Exactly.
And it's gone down each and every year. You can jack that slugging percentage up with doubles. Just fine. Hey, Eugenio Velez, you have no problem with this young man hitting fly balls because they, in all likelihood, won't leave the ballpark. And again, 2 outs.
I mean, James Loney's, he's had a game, Darren, where he's driven in 9 in a game. He drove in 9 runs in one game about 3 or 4 years ago in Colorado. I mean, that's like Ted Williams type stuff.
And I think Arizona fans, including Arizona broadcasters, tend to wonder why James Loney isn't super spectacular offensively, or at least better than he has been. There is a reason. It's because of what Loney has done against the Diamondbacks. Even though this year it's been quieter, outside of that home run, it's been quieter this year. In his 289 at bats coming in, I mean, an average well over 300, closer to 350. Plenty of homers. So I think those of us that cover Arizona, this is what we've seen.
Exactly. That's fabulous.
And that's entering today, so you can add another home run. Inside. 2-2, the count to Kershaw. Still doesn't put aside the fact, though, that he got exactly what he hoped for, and that was a changeup.
About the only thing he's shown he can hit. That wasn't the best changeup there for me and Kennedy. It's 3-2.
For Kennedy, the 17th home run he has allowed this year. Of the 17, 12 have been solo shots. Strike throwers, fastball pitchers give up homers. You want them to be solo jobs. Bouncing ball. In time for the out. James Loney continues to haunt the Arizona Diamondbacks. Probably not the rest of the National League. but certainly the men in red. Arizona, as we support our Men's Own Foundation in their fight against childhood obesity by inspiring and empowering young people and building self-esteem. To learn more, please visit foxsportsarizona.com and click on the Fox Supports Arizona page. Kershaw ended things with a ground out a moment ago. Now he faces another man who does what he does. That's Ian Kennedy. Kennedy struck out back in the second inning. Fastballs took care of Ian. Well, you hope the Redbeard is able to keep it where it's at 2-1. Oh, 0-1 the count to Ian. Kershaw, before beating San Diego on the road, beat Colorado at home. Ian with a fly ball right, had in position where they should for a pitcher. That's shallow and to the other way, and so Andre Ethier makes the play. CenturyLink presents High Speed Pitch, brought to you by CenturyLink Internet. High Speed Internet. Kershaw 96, Kennedy 92. They both kind of stepped right into form of what you'd expect on at least high speeds.
Yeah, but I think you have to consider them both quote unquote power pitchers. Even though they both have good off-speed pitches, you don't have to throw 100 to be considered a power pitcher. There's plenty of power pitchers. You just have to throw a lot of fastballs. There's a lot of power pitchers that hang around 89, 90.
Now, if you were to use the backyard phrase, which, you know, when you're playing in high school or with your buddies, you say, hey, that guy's a junk baller. Well, that's the casual phrase you would not use at all to apply to Ian Kennedy.
No. He's got a very good changeup. But he only throws it maybe 1 out of 5 pitches.
That's exactly right. He's a fastball pitcher. He averages over 90 miles an hour. Just about at straight 90. And right now, Navarro and Kershaw can't get together on an 0-2 pitch. Roberts has walked and scored and flied out to center.
That's the first curveball we've seen in a while from Clayton Kershaw. I think it's just a showcase pitch.
Good call. Boy, if we've seen one and maybe 2 or 3 total. Is that right?
I think he was just up there to do just what he did with it. Bounce it, see if he could get Ryan Roberts to chase it. Now he'll go back to work. That was the slide.
Into shallow center field.
Kemp trucks on in and puts it away for the second out of the inning. Here's Kelly Johnson. Curious if he still is using Juan Gutierrez's bat, because he hit a home run back in the first inning using a bat that rarely gets used. A late inning relief pitcher has a bat, and honestly, you're not quite sure why he has it. But he has one. Kelly liked it, and he used it, and he hit a homer with it.
Maybe the batch of Kelly Johnson bats that came in, well, they weren't up to snuff.
Saw a shot of Slim Goot there a moment ago. I changed the nickname, Gracie. Look at him. Good for him. He looks great.
Face is slimmed down. Had to go down a size in these britches. He's like to get his arm healthy. But he's still providing plenty of pop from Kelly Johnson.
Juan Gutierrez, by the way, since joining the Diamondbacks, has not had a plate appearance in a major league game.
Really?
Got some nice bats, though, that hit homers.
Evidently, he's got some good wood.
He was 0 for 6 when he made some starts back in 07. He's 0 for 6 in the majors. Kelly chops that one to the right side. Kelly may be switching back to the Kelly Johnson bat now. That's all right, fella. You look great. Maybe someday you'll get to use one of those in a Diamondbacks game. To summarize, Juan Gutierrez, well, he's not in the ball game hitting. Kelly Johnson's using his bat. He hit a 2-run homer against Clayton Kershaw, and then James Loner. I think he's using his own bat, but he always hits well against the Diamondbacks. The rest of the story has been told by the pitchers. Clayton Kershaw has been fabulous, though he has nearly thrown 100 pitches. Ian Kennedy right there with him. He has thrown 30 fewer pitches. And Kennedy goes back to work and does so against Jamie Carroll. Carroll struck out looking and walked in the third inning. Gracie and I and Brad, thank you for inviting us into your home today. Trust your weekend's a good one. 0-2 the count. And all you youngsters out there enjoying your last weekend or so, or maybe last weekend plus a few days of freedom, have fun. We'll see you at the ballpark this week, by the way, where if you bring mom or dad, and a whole bunch of your buddies, too. Bring as many buddies as you want, as that one is fouled off.
Very important here for Ian Kennedy now to find a way to retire Jamie Carroll and then Aaron Miles, the first two water bugs here in the top of the sixth inning, because you want to face Andre Ethier with the bases empty and or Matt Kemp.
Down the line. Foul ball.
Nice. Did he make that play?
I think he held on to it enough anyway.
Did he hold on to it?
That's John Underwood down there.
Attaboy, John. I think he might have made the play and made a little girl happy. He got a small glove.
Let's see here.
Oh. Well, he knocked it down. Kept it in front.
The 0-2. And that one is fouled off. That is a very old school glove. I'd like to find out. I'm thinking that may be an antique glove. Literally. I'm thinking he's playing with literally an antique. The 0-2. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. Kind of reminds me of what the guys wore back when you played.
No. That's when you got to use 2 hands. You can't catch one-handed with that glove. Yeah,
I'll bet you that.
I'll bet you the Hall of Famer probably used one of those.
Ian, boy, good 2-strike pitch, and Carroll's been pesky.
I was going to say, Carroll's fighting off just about everything. Some frustration starting to set in right now with Ian Kennedy.
Change up.
Well, what a pitch.
I'm told, by the way, it was an interesting Legends race. Stepped out for just a moment. Did you win?
Well, no. Matt Williams won. But I had a little something for Senator McCain. Could you please get a bill through Congress that would mandate a win for me? And he was, yeah, Gracie, I'll do the best I can. I have a feeling there's maybe a few bigger irons in the fire in Washington, D.C. these days.
I think so. You can't blame a man for asking. 0-1 the count to Aaron Miles with a changeup. He's already forgotten your request. He's already forgotten.
Yeah, beautiful wife Cindy there as well.
Round ball, foul ball, had him out front. 0-2, back-to-back changeups. Miles rolled into a double play and also flied to left field. San Francisco leads Philadelphia 2-1. That game in the top half of the 6th inning. 2-1, San Francisco on top. Breaking ball fouled off. Atlanta as well, if you're viewing the bigger picture, meaning the wild card, and Arizona starting 3.5 games back of Atlanta in the wild card. Atlanta won as well. Up top of that board, they beat the New York Mets 6-5.
This time Aaron Miles now getting pesky as well on 0-2 counts.
And you have to consider both.
Of course.
If you're Arizona, understanding you've got 3 against the Braves coming up on this next trip.
Well, Ian Kennedy making some really good pitches, and both Carroll and Miles just doing what they're supposed to do, being tough outs.
Well, now what this does, even though his pitch count's manageable at 77, it speaks to decisions Gibson will have to make in the 8th.
That's exactly right. And it's just imperative that Andre Ethier hit with the bases empty. This is a 1-run game.
Pitch is low, 2-2 the count. Line shot into center field, and it's a base hit.
And he just wore him out, didn't he? Just absolutely wore Ian Kennedy out in that situation. Now here we go.
And as you said, bases clean. No, they're not. Look at the pitches, by the way, on the Fox tracks.
Oh yeah, fought off all those. Got a change up in the zone, and just rifled it right back into center field. That's just good pesky hitting right there. Putting it in play, not striking out, battling.
Here is Ethier. Singled, fly to center field. Belts it into right field. To the corner it goes. Miles is off to the races. Tough spot for Upton to play it. Tim Warlick says, come on down. The relay to the plate. Not in time. We're tied. St. Mary's High School, Arizona State. he comes home and hurts the team that he watched growing up, Andre Ethier.
Well, what an at-bat by Miles in front of Andre Ethier. These guys have been smashing the baseball the whole time, him and Kemp, in this series, and you just had a feeling that if somebody was on base for these rascals, it was going to come back and haunt the Diamondbacks, and boy, unfortunately, we were right. And now I'm not letting this guy beat me. Unless he wants to bunt again.
He's not bunting this time. He did you a favor back in the 4th inning. Bunted right back to the mound. Ian Kennedy fielded it. Into the dirt it goes. Now, if you're going to pitch around, you better be careful.
I hear what you're saying.
Because a wild pitch puts a runner on third.
Thank you very much.
And then a fly ball gives the Dodgers the lead. Kemp already has a home run this year against Ian Kennedy. Two-two the score. Good pitch.
Well, see, now they're doing the same thing in this situation. You saw Cody Ransom strike out earlier on a bunch of pitches out of the strike zone. Right now they're going to try to get Matt Kemp to chase pitches out of the zone. Now, as great a hitter as Matt Kemp is, if you make your pitches, you can strike him out. He's always been a high strikeout total guy. So let's see if Ian Kennedy can get him to chase out of the zone and get that much needed strikeout.
Buried another fastball in. He did go after it. Roberts with the play. Give credit, though, to Kennedy. You can't waste pitches in the dirt when you're pitching around. You can throw it at them and hope they swing.
Well, he got him to chase 2 pitches out of the zone, just as we saw with Cody Ransom earlier. Even the great ones will chase in big situations. That ball is buried about a foot inside. Ryan Roberts ended up making a terrific play on a bad hop. He got a tough hop and ended up making the play anyway. Well, that is a huge out off the bat of Matt Kemp.
Kemp, by the way, was 6 of his last 13 with runners in scoring position prior to that, so he was hot in that situation. Maybe Kennedy was able to feed on how hot he was.
I think you're right.
Feeling good about himself. Here's Juan Rivera. That's a good pitch, boy. Because that's not, again, not to beat it up, folks, that's not pitching around by pitching in the dirt. And he easily could have taken both those, and it would have been 3-0.
That's exactly right. But in his haste to give his team the lead and continue that momentum, it's one of those such beautiful curveball. That's one of those situations where you end up getting yourself out. The pitcher didn't get you out. You got yourself out by chasing balls out of the zone.
Kennedy's given up 5 hits. Kershaw 2. He's done a lot of pitches in this inning. Right back into center field. Here comes Young. Up with it. To the plate. Cut off. An aggressive Rivera takes a big turn. With the tag, the Dodgers lead it 3-2. was not a good one. It was up, out over the plate, stayed at about at the belt as he hydrates now, and I think calms himself down. Yep, right out over the plate, a shot, and Kennedy really angry with himself. Three to 2 is the score, so I tell you, and Gracie talked about it, you have to give credit to guys like Carroll and Miles in that inning. The big hits were the big hitters. But you know who wore him down? Carroll and Miles. That's who wore him down. Carroll and Miles together had Ian Kennedy throw 16 pitches.
That's why we said it was just so imperative to take care of those two little water bugs in front of the big boys. Not that Ian Kennedy didn't give his best ever. It's just give those guys credit. They wore him down and wore him down. In the first pitch, Andre Ethier saw, bang, tie game.
Justin Upton hits a high fly ball into left center. And easy chance there. That one is put away. Upton 0 for 3.
Follow the Diamondbacks with MLB.com @bat11 for your iPhone, your iPad, your Android, or your BlackBerry. Live audio, video highlights, and much more. Text @bat to 31826 or visit dbacks.com for details.
Here's Xavier Nady. Kirk Gibson saying before the game that Justin Upton can't carry us. Someone else has to help. Guys like Nady, or maybe a hot hand of Cowgill or Ransom in a certain game. Justin 0 for 3 today, 2 of 12 with 6 strikeouts. Coming in, as that one is rolled out just short. And if you include today for Upton, he's 2 of his last 15 during what is a 3-game losing streak, plus they're behind today, Arizona.
Well, Justin's entire career, he rides that roller coaster of hot and cold. His hots are hotter than anybody in the game. But that huge surge that he just came off of, Darren, if you remember, that followed an 0 for 21.
Yep.
Every once in a while, I'll thrill you with some of these statistics, Darren. I can see the thrill in your eyes right now.
I like when you go with the numbers. That one is high and away. I love when you walk down the road of regression to the mean.
I don't really know what that means.
Batting average for balls in play, that sometimes things will just even out, Gracie. So I appreciate you going down the sabermetric road.
No, I will never do that.
1-0, 1-1 the count to Chris Young. Young today, I can tell you something simple. It's not too statty. He's walked and he's singled.
There you go.
Maybe it gets him going. Youngsters, we'll see you at the ballpark all this week. High pop. Easy inning for Kershaw.
Shut down inning after your team goes and gets you 2. Like an ace.
Wow. 8-pitch inning. He's at 103, which means he can go back out there again. Good pictures. Matt, Eric, and Mike in tape. Glad to be back. And looking at those pictures with our home crew. Best production crew in the game is right here with our home crew in Arizona. The 1-0.
There's those fastballs that James Loney just hasn't been able to catch up to. I would be shocked if Ian Kennedy threw him anything off speed in this situation. Something that James Loney can catch up to.
1 ball and 1 strike the count. Loney with that homer that Gracie's speaking of. Into the pool. Bounced into the pool in right field. And at that point made it 2-1. It was a couple of key hits the next inning that gave the Dodgers the lead.
Right back in there with a fastball in.
But that was that home run. We've had a couple of those on the Diamondback side to cover this year that just woke you up, that let you believe that we can come back in this game. That's what Loney's home run did.
Another fastball, another strike.
Gentleman up from AAA for a brief time hit a lot of home runs like that, named Willie Mo Pena. About 3 or 4 times team was down, struck like Loney did. The team went on to win, come from behind victories. 2-2. Breaking ball is outside. 3-2 the count. The cut fastball of Brian Shaw is getting loose out there.
And he pitches every day.
Into right field. Justin Upton runs it down. Couldn't square up a fastball. Had the same swing.
Exactly. He jammed him with it. You know, it's one of those unfortunate lessons that you learn too late in the major leagues. And that is, if a guy's not getting to your fastball, go ahead and keep throwing him fastballs until he shows you he can get to your fastball. And Ian knows that. But he just made a poor pitch selection. Maybe if he had executed it a little better instead of leaving it up in the zone, it would have been a different story. And he didn't try to throw him a hanging changeup, but he did.
That one is Deanna Navarro driving it to right field. Justin Upton is there, and he puts it away. Navarro cheating a little bit, was out front. 95 pitches for Kennedy. Eugenio Velez. That pitch up and away to finish the thought on a guy who I think we all liked around here is doing well. Willie Mo has signed Pena with Seattle. He's got 3 homers and 30 at bats in AAA. In Tacoma, hitting .367. Maybe he'll work his way back to the big leagues again. His best position may be DH.
I agree with you. There just wasn't any room for him to play a position here. There was room for him to come off the bench. There was room for him in the American League games when the DH was available.
Outside, 3-0 to Eugenio Velez.
Clayton Kershaw is on deck. He will hit for himself if indeed Velez does walk.
Three and one. Don Mattingly has seen his Dodgers go toe-to-toe with Kennedy earlier this year. Kennedy beat him. Oh, you love him in the air. Eugenio Velez, that's twice he's dropped that back shoulder. Twice. Someone has had to bring him his glove. Kennedy pieces things back together. new Rapid Rewards, unlimited reward seats with no blackout dates. The new Quest 5-year price lock promise. Visit quest.com/promise for details. 7th inning stretch going on at the ballpark. And not having to pitch out of the stretch a lot since early in the ball game is this man, Clayton Kershaw. I want to talk about piecing it together nicely. Ian Kennedy has been right there with Clayton Kershaw, matching wits toe for toe. And Kennedy, the big blows have come later in the ball game against Kershaw. They came early in the ball game, but since then, he's been untouchable since the first.
I was going to say, after 2 batters, Clayton Kershaw was down 2-0. But boy, he has been dominant, and that's what he expects to do, is dominate an opponent. Now the Diamondbacks are going to have to find a way to carve one, at least one, across the board, or risk being in a 4-game skid when it matters most.
Talking about Kershaw specifically, he gave up 2 runs, had 3 base runners in the first inning. He threw 31 pitches in the first inning. Since then, he hasn't given up any runs, has had 2 total base runners, and has only thrown 14 pitches per inning since. So
now he's only at 104. If he has a decent inning here, he could carry it into the 8th. Now you got to find a way to play with reckless abandon. You got to find a way to win this game. You've got to will your way through this game. And it starts with Miguel Montero right here. Find a way.
the Giants are at home. They are willing their way with a lead on top of Philadelphia 3-1 in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Boy, those last 2 innings tell a story. Had some trouble in the 4th. But the Giants on top 3-0, 7th inning. Pitch is high. 1-1 the count. Miguel, left field. You know what, Gracie? You could actually see what he was trying to do there. Trying to dial back on some of the things we've talked about. Just couldn't square it up. Not the body flying forward trying to overcompensate.
Yeah, the approach was fine in that situation. He just happened to hit it off the end of the bat a little bit. He just didn't do much.
Colin Cowgill now. He has struck out. He has walked. Line drive, center field, base hit. We've got aggressive speed now on the base pads. This is a young man that swiped 30 bags, but the new watchful eye of Kirk Gibson, if you're going, you better make it.
Cowgill wastes no time. First pitch fastball, and he just whistles it right back into center field where it came from. As you said, good speed on the bases. Cody Ransom, who's struck out and grounded to third. And Kershaw with a pretty good move and a pretty quick delivery to home plate. He is tough to steal on.
Ransom in the batter's box, but not Ian Kennedy on deck.
Paul Goldschmidt instead on deck.
That's exactly right. Pitches inside, 1-0 the count. There's a young man out of Texas State University in San Marcos, Texas. He will await his chance. It's been 6 1/3 innings for Kershaw. Just 3 hits allowed. And to compare the two, the Dodgers have just managed more hits against Ian Kennedy. Otherwise,
and that's been the story of this entire series. They've just come out and put together a bunch of hits. They had double-digit hits on Friday. They had double-digit hits here last night. And they've just come out and thus far have just outplayed the Diamondbacks.
So the count is 1-1. Well, today is a day you have a pretty good feeling that you are winning in order to remain 1/2 game back.
Well, you have to find a way. If you want to be considered a champion, champions don't get swept at home by teams that were 10 games under 500 coming in here. And you still got plenty of time left in this ball game to snatch this game. And we've seen them do it all year long, the Diamondbacks. But it starts with a lot of mental wherewithal.
Belted deep left field. Cody just did it. Wow. The pride of Grand Canyon University will touch them all.
There's some mental wherewithal.
The Diamondbacks lead it 4-3. $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. He jumped on a fastball. Kershaw jumped in the air, and he knew it.
He knew it. I mean, a bomb. How about a curtain call? How about a curtain call? Come on out and take a curtain call. Come on, Cody. Yeah, Roberts is waiting for you. Come on, Cody, get on out there and take your curtain call. Come on, Cody. Get out there and take your curtain call.
They're not asking for it anymore.
Yeah, well, Ryan Roberts was
waiting for a hitter in front of him. He wasn't honestly being asked that much by the crowd, Gracie. There was some loud music being played.
I'm going to disagree with you. I thought they were asking for it. Burrow's taking his sweet time. That's all right. You're just up from AAA. You're probably not
very respectful.
You're probably not wanting to be disrespectful to the Dodgers. I need some curtain calls around here.
I know you do. He knows what he's doing. He played about.
Yeah, they're calling. They're saying, Cody, come on, get out there and wave at him, Cody.
Beat LA now is what they're saying. They're saying beat LA, by the way.
No, darn it. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking on these curtain calls.
You remember like the Celtics fans used to say in Boston?
Like 25 years ago?
I do.
Yeah.
1-1 the count. Here they go. The last homer he hit was against the Diamondbacks as a Philly. Cody Ransom. It was against Chad Qualls. Sean Burroughs lifts that one to the left center field. That one is down. That one will roll all the way to the wall. Juan Rivera running after that one like he's got a piano on his back. And Burroughs with the double. What in the world where was he playing?
I think a piano and the truck that was delivering it.
No, beautiful piece of hitting for Burroughs.
Yes, it was.
Don't want to take anything away from him.
Holy smokes. Juan Rivera. Okay, here it is. Beautiful. Wham. There it is now. Juan? No, we're not going to see it. Trust me, folks. He wasn't running very fast in left field.
Burroughs with a two-bagger. Okay, saying, come on, Willie, get those legs going. Willie calling out for Burroughs to get running.
He may have stretched the triple into a double there.
You think so?
He may have.
No worse feeling than waiting for the manager to set up a double switch while you stand on the mound. A frustrating end to this day for this talented young left-hander, but for Arizona, a real big step in a pennant race. inning.
2 bad pitches this entire game. One, a 2-run homer to Kelly Johnson, and then that big 2-run homer there off the bat of Cody Ransom, but he came as advertised. Need to see Cody take that curtain call.
Josh Lindblom goes to work. A Verizon Wireless call to the bullpen. A 2.03 ERA. Juan Rivera moves into first, and in left, Gwynn now in the 9 slot. Gwynn, the pitcher spot. Lindblom is the number 7 hitter. Check that, the 6 hitter in the order, as that one is chopped off the bat of Ryan Roberts to the bag for the second out of the inning. And that time, Rivera didn't have to run quite as much. And he played that one very nicely. Runner moved to third.
You can see just, come on, Juan. Come on, Juan. I'm honestly surprised that Burroughs stopped at second on that one.
And he just kind of threw it.
But I think also the base running mistakes and the outs on the bases, I think, and Kirk Gibson's reaction to him has resonated pretty loud and clear through that clubhouse, don't you?
I think so. I think so. And he uses us with the media very effectively. He's very smart. He doesn't just sit down and forget what he's about to say. He knows exactly what he's about to share with the media. Kelly, high drive, deep and hard, didn't get it. To the wall, did he? No, he did not. Kelly gave it a ride. Oh, that would have been a nice add-on.
A nice one.
To what Cody Ransom did. A stunning home run for Ransom. Number 1 on his back, but that homer counted for 2. Is to score. Arizona hitting during the half inning that belonged to Kelly Johnson with regard to, or I should say, Ian Kennedy earning his decision. And with Ian, that was our text poll earlier.
That's going to help him on his merry way if the score stays. But there's 6 big outs to go. And these Dodgers have shown that they mean business. I mean, they have come in here, Darren, and for 2 games and 6 innings, they've been the better ball club. Now a big 2-run homer from Cody Ransom could be a huge lift if David Hernandez and company can find a way to get 6 more outs here and protect a 1-run lead.
David, one of the more valuable Diamondbacks this season, on for the 53rd time. His ERA below 3. Opponents hitting just 180 against him. Pours a fastball in there. Since the calendar started flipping, better said since July the 2nd as Tony Gwynn hits, David Hernandez since July the 2nd has given up 1 run. He has been really good. Over the top, a changeup. Doesn't throw many, but effective there.
Boy, that's as good as it gets right there when you're throwing in the mid-90s and then you throw a beautiful changeup. Went way out in front of that one.
He's got a hard downer breaking ball that he can throw to both right-handers and left-handed hitters as well. This time, though, it's a fastball. Strike 3 to Gwynn. Right below the knees, inside corner.
Looked like it started inside and had a little bit of tail back to the inside corner. It's just too close to take. It was close. Probably an inch or two down, but it's just too close to take. Down to 5 outs now.
Jamie Carroll now, who really worked on Ian Kennedy back in the 6th inning. Aaron Miles worked on him too. Let's bring Brad back in. Brad, what's going on down there with regard to vibe in the dugout?
Well, great stuff now, but it was interesting yesterday without Kirk Gibson in that D-backs dugout. It was just as if all the energy had been drained out of it. Even Miguel Montero, who's usually a pretty chirpy guy down there, was kind of silent. Said it's not like Gibby is a rah-rah kind of guy, but I just think his presence is so much needed in that dugout. But it was interesting to see before that big shot by Ransom right there. Everyone kind of rallied together, got that energy back up. Obviously wanting to get the win tonight for Ian Kennedy.
Well, there's no doubt, Brad, and thank you, that this is a club that is always chirping a bit. They never feel like they're out of it. And sometimes, don't kid yourself, below the surface, Kirk Gibson gets that talk started. Breaking ball. Good evening, Mr. Carroll.
That's a knee buckler if you'll ever see one right there. Carroll just knew this pitch was going to stay high. Yikes! Right down it comes, thigh high, and ring it up again. Ed Hickox. That's easy for me to say.
Gesundheit.
Ah.
Here's Aaron Miles. Let's see if Hernandez can just seal the deal here very quickly. I think he did. What an inning by David Hernandez. This crowd arrives out of their seats. David, another clean frame out of that bullpen. 3 big outs to get, if you're counting. David Hernandez, you might remember a couple of outings ago in Los Angeles, had a pretty good snap in the dugout where some sunflower scenes took a beating, and he ended up getting a little injury on the finger. Minor, not serious, but he was concerned would affect his pitching. He's just fine.
I think he threw 7 pitches and still struck out 2 batters in that inning. So needless to say, he was just fine.
Justin Upton with a surprise idea off the mound and a nice play. So both Matt Kemp and Justin Upton have attempted to bunt their way on in this ball game. And for Upton, he is 0 for 4.
I'd like to see Justin driving the gap right there.
So now Nady. Upton's bunt, just if we're comparing bunts, just a little bit better than that of Kemp's, which literally Kemp's, it's as if he rolled it out to the pitcher.
And it's frustrating, too, because Kemp and Upton, both of them understand, even if they make a decent bunt, I mean, they can trot to first base and be safe because the third baseman's so far back. But unfortunately, both Kemp and Justin Upton just almost directly right back to the pitcher, and then they become easy outs, and that's frustrating.
San Francisco still leading Philadelphia 3-1. That game is in the top half of the 8th inning. Waves at a heavy slider away from Lindblom. 4-3 the score. 6 hits for the Dodgers and 5 for the Diamondbacks. The Houston Astros come to town for a 4 set. As that one's just off the plate. And the Astros just this year aren't a very good baseball team.
Don't say it.
They're just not.
Don't say it.
Facts are facts, my friend.
Moachichi.
You have no idea the amount of things I would affect if I had that ability.
I'm just a big believer in the baseball gods.
Oh, me too. That's why I don't like when guys stand and watch homers.
He didn't stand and watch.
No, he didn't, but overall I don't like it.
Oh, okay.
By the way, don't forget in that upcoming series, if you bring mom and dad with you, you get in free. I mean, that's just the bottom line. You get in free. Look at that. You come with hair like that. Three and two, the count. One adult ticket. Look out, it's coming back your way. Just over your head. You had some copy, too. Is there anything else you want to pass along?
Well,
I just kind of did it organically.
I suppose I could. Celebrate back to school with free tickets for kids this week at Chase Field during the D-backs Astros series. Kids get in free tomorrow through Thursday. Just purchase an adult ticket. And thank you for fouling that one off, X. Just purchase an adult ticket and kids get a free ticket in the same section. To get this offer, stop by the Chase Field box office or call 602-514-8400.
That's a good read.
Well,
better late than never.
Kind of got my thunder stolen there a little bit, but then, I look forward to those reads, Darren.
3 and 2 the count. They just say in my ear, the kids get in free. Go. That's what they said, So I didn't know what else to do, but
you ad-libbed it very well.
Follow my producer. Bottom line, if you're a mom or a dad, bring all the kids in your neighborhood now. Little chopper. Out in front of the plate. And he makes the play. The backside went one way, the hands went the other. And Nady is erased. Wandy Rodriguez is on the mound tomorrow, the one true threat in the rotation for the Astros. He's got a sub-4 ERA.
And so is Daniel Hudson, almost identical ERAs. So that should tell you just how good Wandy Rodriguez is. So it promises to be a good one. So get down here, folks, and bring the kids. Love a good ball game.
Did I mention it's free if you bring them?
Every kid. Every kid.
You buy an adult ticket.
In the same section.
Just find a spot.
It's not like they get in free and sitting out by the foul pole in the upper deck. They're in the same section.
The 1-0. 1-1 the count. One and one. Back to the screen it goes. 4-3 the score. A little noise in this place.
4-3 ball game.
1-2 the count. Young has flied out. He has singled. He has walked. Breaking ball, and now with 3 big outs, there will be noise in this place. The veteran, J.J. Putz, warming in the pen. He's got his hands full. Ethier, Kemp, and Rivera right after this. With this club, did he think he'd be pitching in games like this? No, I've spoken with him recently. Honestly, he said no. But I am thrilled with the opportunity. These are games that matter for a veteran who has in the past pitched in games like this. He's healthy again. I think more than anything, I think that little pain in his elbow not only probably took about a week to get better, but the extra 8 or 9 days helped that body rest.
Without a doubt. You know, JJ's had major surgery before. And like we say, that arm only has so many bullets, so that might have been the best thing that's happened to him because he's been perfect ever since coming off the disabled list. And as a matter of fact, he went back-to-back-to-back games on this most recent road trip for all 3 of those saves. But boy, he is in some kind of a pickle as he faces Andre Ethier here to start the 9th inning.
Ethier in this ball game doubled in a run and scored. He singled in the first inning, didn't hit it hard. He also, in the middle of it, fly to center. Fastball, split-fingered fastball, and a slider. Right after him, 0-1 the count.
What a rip that was from Ethier. Woo!
The one thing J.J. possessing more, I think, than a good fastball and a good split-fingered fastball is uber confidence on that mound.
Absolutely. Well, when you've had the success he's had, there's no reason to doubt yourself. But boy, that was power on pitch number 1.
Another fastball.
With it again. Right back with it again. And another foul ball, 0-2. And like you said, major confidence in the stuff he throws. Now, Andre Ethier, I would imagine, is thinking split finger. Let's see what JJ throws.
The 0-2. Split into the dirt it goes, and down goes Ethier.
Wow. What a split finger it was.
Really got on top of it. A straight downward dive, and the other part of that story is Montero.
He gloved it. He didn't really block it, but he gloved it good enough to knock it down. And 3 pitches is all it took to rid himself of Andre Ethier. J.J. Putz. That was impressive. Now, you thought that was good, J.J. Matt Kemp is stepping into the box.
Kemp singled, grounded out back to the mound, grounded out to third. Fastball buries it in. To finish the thought on.
He's going right after these guys.
On Montero, you and I maybe were a little bit nice. Miguel would tell you, I was lucky to block that ball. But it's okay to be lucky in a pennant race.
All right. Got to have some luck.
The 0-1. Bouncing ball out to short. Cody Ransom, 2 outs, 1 to get.
And also going back to that block, Darren, I think that split finger broke, had more downward dive than even Miguel was anticipating. That's probably why he didn't go down to block it. That's the kind of split finger JJ has here this afternoon.
In San Francisco, the Giants are 3 outs from a victory against the Philadelphia Phillies. They lead 3-1. The Diamondbacks are 1 out from a victory. Dignitaries, bosses, and fans all together come out of their seats.
Juan Rivera has big power, folks.
Oh, he doesn't chase. 1-0 the count.
First pitch out of the strike zone in this inning so far.
Trying to avoid a sweep, these Diamondbacks, for the first time since last August at home. Into the dirt. 2-0 the count. He beat him up with that one.
Rod Barajas is on deck. He's hitting in the pitcher spot. Rod Barajas, a .220 hitter, but not in this series. He's been a monster.
You saw Rivera and his 2 hits and 7 at-bats against Putz, both home runs.
I think that's why we're seeing J.J. Putz try to get him to chase something out of the zone. Oh, my, what a pitch there. 2-0. Rivera looking to do one thing, and that was tie the ball game, and that fastball had some dive.
Two and one. Bouncing ball. It's going to be a long throw. In time!
Only fitting Cody Ransom with the play. J.J. Putz, now that's a closer.
Couple of older baseball men involved in that last final out, and it's Cody at 35 years old. Nearly 1,500 minor league games. You wait and you play and you wait and you play for moments like that for Cody Ransom.
And a big bear hug from his closer, J.J. Putz. Cody Ransom, he provided the 2-run homer to give the Diamondbacks the lead, and then on a bounce, he gets Juan Rivera, and the Diamondbacks salvage a ball game here, and they came from the clouds against one of the best pitchers in all of baseball, Clayton Kershaw. Yeah, JJ, I don't blame you. He likes that from Cody Ransom. Cody Ransom, I think he's the player of the game, don't you?
Certainly the player of the game, and just a quick news update, that piano is still on Juan Rivera's back as he ran up the first base line.
Well said.
They are tied for now. The San Francisco Giants are 1 out now, 2 outs away from winning the game. It looks like Brad is down on the field. Before we say goodbye, let's hear from Cody Ransom. Brad, that's your responsibility. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you. Getting a started shortstop, the local guy, the local product, Cody Ransom, that's big-time stuff right there to do it at a ballpark. You always dreamed of being a Diamondback, and to have a win like this, what does that mean?
It's great. I finally got that monkey off my back. Got the first hit out of the way. It happened to be a big one. So today's game was a ton of fun. We enjoyed it. Came out. Beat them. They got 2 on us early, so it was nice to get that game.
The Giants lost a couple games. You guys weren't able to take advantage of it. How important was it for you guys to make sure you got at least one win against the Dodgers?
Regardless of what the Giants do, it's important for us to get wins. I think if we take care of that, hopefully the rest will take care of itself. But, our pitching staff's been doing a great job, and I know myself, I've left quite a few runners out there the last few games. So we just got to pick those up and we'll be fine.
A couple of great defensive plays at shortstop. That's really your natural, most comfortable position.
It is. I feel at home there. I played that since I was a little kid, but I'll play anywhere, you know. That's definitely home, though.
Cody, thanks for stopping by. Big two-run shot. The D-backs knock off the Dodgers to wrap it up. Guys, we'll send it back up to you. Bring on the Astros.
Well, the Astros are coming to town. Ian Kennedy is 14-3, by the way, with the win. The Diamondbacks win it. Long throw. 4-gamer coming up. We'll see you at the ballpark.